Hello everybody. In today's video, does everything feel different? If so, you might go why or whatever and realize to yourself, what kind of era are we in? What kind of age are we a part of? Well, we're in the what some people call the Depression era or the Second Enlightenment. Some people like to call it the Second Renaissance. But basically, religiously, politically, culturally, and sports wise, and scientifically, and educationally, and basically everythingly, we are all drained out and fucked up and whatever. Like, yeah, you could say that about any other time period, but like it's happening all at once, pretty much, or it seems like it is within 1 year, especially the year that I'm recording this video on, because we're in a time where we're headed towards a world depression. Not a world depression, but a world recession, is what I meant to say. We're headed towards. Basically, boomers are at the height of their power right now. They're at the peak of their height right now when it comes to world control. And this is as big as it's ever going to get for that generation. Anything they do after 2026, it's all downhill from here. But how are they going to go downhill, you know? Like, what's going to be the bottom for them? Can't say, because it depends on whatever Gen X and the millennials do. And then Generation Z is going to come around, and then they're going to take over the world. And then we're going to see what they're like during the, I want to say, 2050s. But I'm not sure. I am not sure. But what I can say is, despite all the poverty, all the crime, all the illiteracy, all the uh, lack of medicine, all the lack of this or that, because we all know that welfare may not always be around. Uh, Social Security may not always be around because Social Security is basically socialism. Let's be for real. Like, what's the difference? Well, it's the boomer equivalent of it, kinda. But not really. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's more of like harder to detect because you don't really think about it. Basically, it's just money from the government. But people tend to forget that governments can run out of money. That's why a lot of failed states or countries that don't exist anymore tend to, not exist anymore, you know? Tend to run out of money because they're limited. It's finite. It's not infinite. It may seem infinite, but it's not, you know? But don't think that we're in the worst era to ever live. I mean, we're in a very bad time, but we're just in the early stages of what are soon to come. The earliest stages, like the signs of it. And basically what this means is we're in obviously a time period. Two, um, there are many, many new things. There are many, many old things coming in or out. Three, the boomers are starting to switch over and starting to give the torch to Generation X. A lot of the other things are also happening, but at the same time, we are in this century's golden era. Each century, as long as there has been a century to be like counted, in other words, ever since 1582 AD, we have been tracking every single century. And there's about 80 years span where technology advances but nothing much happens. And then there's about a 25 to 30 year span of that century where a lot changes, a lot happens, everything just goes boom. And you know when the beginning of that was for the 21st century, as they still call it? That is between the years 2025 AD and 2050 AD for those who use the Gregorian calendar. And those years are going to be considered the height of this century. And you know what also was 80 years ago? Or 81, since I'm saying this in 2026. That would be World War II. Well, not officially, but still. Not officially till September, so like September 8th, but still. It really makes you think, don't it? Yeah. And then on top of that, we're also in a transition era, meaning that we're in a time where a lot of things are slippy dippy dippy. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like, say, crime, for example, is bad as it was in like the 1990s, which for my home country, the USA, was the worst era of crime in the entire history of the country. And it was the highest, and people got away with it the most. And the highest arrest rate we ever caught with people was in 2009, and it's been lowering a lot. And the reason why there's not a lot of prisoners anymore is because, well, a lot of the big time prisoners are getting less and less and less. In other words, there are less criminals, but the less criminals are committing more crime. Things like that. So the less the criminals, the less crime they're kind of committing. The more crime they're committing. That's what I meant to say. To an extent. For those career criminals, if you know what I mean. Like lifetime career criminals. Who think being in the hood or being in the jail cell is the best place in town. Like, fuck you, man. That ain't cool anymore. That's fucking ghetto. We don't need to be ghetto, okay? We need to be normal. That is the new cool. Being average and being normal is the new cool. And I know that sounds odd and I know that sounds strange, but being a normie is the normal, okay? If you want to be the normal, you have to be a normie, okay? I'm not saying you have to embrace every single thing a normie does, but if you are a normie, then go ahead. You can go and do that if you want to. Just don't lie that, oh, I'm interested into this particular niche thing when you're not really original or this or that. And yes, I'm talking about you, narcissists. They might go, oh, but no, I'm original because I'm showing this. Look at me, I'm sharing this video to someone. Look at me, I'm showing this to someone. Look at me, what I show. I'm interested into this particular video. Fuck you, first of all, if you shared this to anyone. Why? Because you're less original than I am. And I'm not a pretty original guy for making this kind of video. Because at least I admit what I do is unoriginal. You, on the other hand, oh, no. We gotta act like it's fucking Reddit. No. Using my left hand here to point to you. We gotta send 10 trillion to Israel. I'm just joking about that one. Anyway, yeah. It does get strange. I wonder what you guys think of the changing times, especially for those living in the future. Whatever you guys have to say about it. Regardless, I am out of here. And yeah, if you have any opinions, thoughts, whatever, you can give it. You can even make a video about it if you want it to. But hey, I'm not your boss, okay? I'm not the one who controls you. I'm not your special person, so to speak. Anyway, yeah, I gotta end this video, but that's all I got for today. And yeah, and just remember, stay ugly.